Hey guys, welcome back. A Perfect King here with Indecisive TCG, bringing you guys another video here, a deck profile on a tough one. Not gonna lie, we got Shirahoshi OP11, one of the green yellow leaders. Um, I'm gonna preface this with saying that she's a rough one. I did hear that she was just bottom tier out over there in Japan, over in Asia. Didn't realize what they meant. I've said in the past in my other videos that I don't really look at deck lists. I just kind of see which leaders are trending, which ones are topping, and just kind of go from there until we actually get the said set for One Piece. So let's go ahead and into it, and then I'll kind of give you my thoughts later on the leader. So we have Shirahoshi, green, yellow. This leader cannot attack, already a nerf. Red flags. Activate main once per turn. You may rest one of your Dawn cards and flip the top card of your life face up. You may play up to one character with a Sea King type, or up to one Megalo card with a cost equal to or less than the total number of Dawn cards on your board from your hand. So it's kind of like the other Calgara, kind of like this is like a nerfed version of Calgara, if I had to put it. Only you get access to green. I think it's a mono yellow, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that's her leader. She does get 5 life, but she can attack. She's a Fishman Island and Merfolk type, which is another thing I'm gonna harp on. It's kind of crazy. But without further ado, let's just get into it. We have 4 of the one cost Shirahoshi. This is basically your searcher, rest one, and this character search top 5, added to your hand. Then the rest go on the bottom. So she's a 1 cost, 0 attack, and 1k counter. So standard searcher. This one I like. It's basically the same thing. It's if your leader Shirahoshi, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal a Shirahoshi or Sea King type. Add it to your hand and place the rest at the bottom. And then we also have your boss card of the deck. One of the boss cards of the deck. We have Jinbei, 6 cost, 8k attack. This is probably this is amazing. So the stat line is just incredible. On play, if your leader's a fishman or merfolk type, rest up to your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less. Then activate main, up to one of your fisherman type characters or merfolk type characters can attack characters the same turn they are played. So it's like it's pseudo rush. Reminds me of the Dressrosa field stage. So just a pseudo rush on other characters. So it's kind of good. Not too bad. Only downfall is it's a brick, but other than that, it's a lot of positives here. Also artwork kind of sick. Yeah, really good. Then we have the obvious standard green card in just about every green deck, aside from green purple Luffy. We have the Hody Jones. Don't need to explain much, but rush and rest up to 2 characters or Dawn, and then take a life. So. And then we have Otohime. It's our 2k counter, but on play it's okay, not too bad. If your leader Shirahoshi, you may turn 1 card from the top of your life face down and draw 1 card. So as I was doing my testing, if you don't have a way to flip her life face down, you can't cheat out your Sea Kings or your Megalo. So one of the cards that you might need it if it's if the turn arises for it. So not too bad. We have another 2k here. We have Cammy, 1 cost, 1k counter, 2k counter with a 1k attack. Your turn, once per turn, when your opponent activates an event or trigger, you may activate this effect. If your opponent has 2 or more life, trash the top card of both players' life area. This one is it's good. It's just crazy that it would have an effect like that, but definitely interesting. Um, don't think in my testing it actually like popped off. They usually just played around her, or just popped her, or rested and then swung into her. So, but it's a very niche effect, and I guess it's just depending on whatever format we're gonna be in, is gonna determine her relevance. But either way, she's a 2K. Therefore, by default, she's gonna be a 4 of, at least for now, unless we get more 2Ks. And then we have our EBO1 Shirahoshi, the blocker that if it's KO'd by effects, you gain a life. So it's also a blocker, so very very good, searchable with the 4 cost searcher, and not Fishman Island. Yeah, no, just this guy. So we also have another 2K. She didn't have any Merfolk Sea King specific 2Ks. She did, but they were like vanillas. So I'd rather have more variety than just vanillas. But we have Zeus, another new card to the yellow, um, archetype. Zeus on play, add a card from the top or bottom of your life, and KO up to one of your opponent's 5 cost characters 5 cost or less. So very good. So spot removal. It's a 2K counter, 2 cost character. So your Dawn investment is very minimal with this one. It's an all around really good card. I mean, aside from the 2K attack power, which is fine. That's a I'll take it. It also helps. This has some synergy with her leader effect. As I mentioned before, if you don't have a way to rest it, or if you don't take that life that's already flipped face up, you won't be able to cheat out your characters. So, next card here, we have a 4 of Fukuboshi. This character, if this character would be KO'd, you may rest your Shirahoshi or Fishman Island instead. On play, you may add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand and KO one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 1 or less. This came up like once or twice in my testing, and he's kind of he's very good for one, just because of the first part of the effect, where it just he can't be KO'd unless you rest Shirahoshi or Fishman Island. That alone makes him pretty good. He can be cheated out, or no, he can't be cheated out. No, he can't be cheated. But I'll go into the combo later on with him. I like to open up with him. But yeah, he basically can't be KO'd as long as I have targets to rest. The on plays sometimes came up, but it's very niche. It's nice to have it. So, but this one I made a 4 of. Here we have Megalo, the other target that Shirahoshi likes to cheat out. It's a blocker on opponent's turn. If your leader is Shirahoshi, this character gains 4,000, so making him a 6K blocker. Pretty good. The deck was kind of getting a little tight, and his importance in this deck slowly started to whittle down. I liked this other blocker here instead. Chon Mage? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Blocker. Activate main once per turn if your leader is Shirahoshi. You may turn 1 card from the top of your life face down, and at the end of the turn, set this character as active. He's essentially just like Megalo, almost, just a little bit more expensive. With a 6K stat line, 1K counter, and then he basically can restand himself and flip your life back face down. So overall, making it a very very making it very aggressive as a Shirahoshi deck. So just kind of helps you out with that. And this is why I opted to have 4 of this and just bump this down to 2. I do want to bump this back up to 4, maybe 3, but so far this has been working okay. And then we have another new yellow event, Gum Gum Red Hawk. It's got a dual effect here, so it's got a main and a counter. The main is rest 3 Dawn cards. If both players' total life cards add up to 5 or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. So that's very important. Original cost. So no amount of level manipulation or cost manipulation is gonna get around the Red Hawk. So, and then the second half of the effect, counter, your leader gains 3k power. So that's also very important that it's leader specific, because there was a couple games where I misplayed it and I was reading it too fast and I thought my characters gained it, but no, sure enough, it's just the leader. So, and then we also have a mini rad beam, kind of half a rad beam. If your leader Shirahoshi, up to one of your leader or characters gain 4k power. So this one can buff your characters and your leader, and then also has a trigger, KO up to a character with the cost of 2 or less. So niche, but it's always a good thing to have. It's just there. So my gripes with this deck is that there's a weird number of cards that are Merfolk, Fishman Island. Yeah, so this is like the Jinbei's a Fishman and Fishman Island. I think that was a total waste. I get it, Fishman, and then there's Fishman Island. They are two different things, but at the same time, like, did we really need a Fishman and a Fishman Island archetype? Like, I don't know. That's what's really like a kind of mess with my turns whenever, as I'm thinking, oh, I can use this guy to rest a Fishman, and so sure enough, no. Like Sea King doesn't even count as like Fishman Island. I don't know. Like, just we have Megala, who's an animal, and a Fishman. So it's just weird. Like, some of these I feel like should have been Fishman Island at the very least, like a Sea King and Fishman Island, because I think that's where they're from. I don't know. Yeah, that was my only gripes with the typing. It's just kind of weird. It's she's definitely missing more support. I know she is getting some more support that looks very promising, but I didn't want to use that support just for the sake of OP11, and I didn't really keep track of the promos. I think we're not getting them until September or something like that, last I checked. But that's why I just solely used OP11, and obviously it's gonna get better with more support. Like with any deck, it's just gonna get better. But this one, I can understand how it didn't do so well over in the East. That being said, I did get some wins. I think that was mostly mostly the surprise factor. First game I'm going to show you is a loss, but it's a very good game. It was against Achilles playing Shanks, and the other two remaining games I think I did win. But that was just most, like I said, having the surprise factor. If you're going up against players who haven't played against Shirahoshi too much, some of them have tried to swing into like the Fukuboshi. I just rested it. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the gameplay. Yep. All right, guys. Well, that was pretty much it. Like I said, we did have the surprise element on our side, which helped us out today in some of the games. But like I said, I did lose a lot. This is pretty much my blueprint for the deck. By no means, as you can see, this deck is nowhere near perfect. I would love to hear from from any Shirahoshi people that are Shirahoshi mains for OP11. Are there any builds in OP11 that put up a fight against the current meta, or if we just have to wait till like OP12 and the promos, and then we can start playing Shirahoshi? Either way, let me know what you guys think. Really quick, I think we were wondering how many 2Ks. I forgot how many 2Ks I played. 4, 8. Yeah, 12 2Ks. 6 blockers. No, 4, 8, 10 blockers. 8 events. Yeah. And then 8 boss cards here, so. And then we have 8 searchers. 8 searchers. 8 boss cards. So for me, this is just seeing the most simplistic version of it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I'm very excited to see the comments in this video and how you guys would play Shirahoshi. Any tips you have for me and any other Shirahoshi players that are looking to play her. Until next time, see you guys. Peace.